Well, I think it's been a learning experience throughout the entire season. I think that you come into the season kind of having a good assumption of what you expect it to be like. You have somewhat of an idea of how to handle the obstacles and the difficulties, but really until you play it out, it's so different than what you could ever imagine. But it has been a fun learning experience, and the fact that we are 11 games through, it feels like just yesterday that we were starting up. It flies by extremely fast, and we've made a lot of progress as both an offense and as a team. We've come together as a group and a unit, and I feel very strongly about the progress we've made. But as a quarterback, really, I've kind of just tried to take everything, kind of with a grain of salt and just enjoy it, because it has flown by, and I only have one more year after this one, so I got to make every game worthwhile and every game count. So it's been extremely fun, and hopefully we can close out the regular season with a bang on Friday, and obviously get back to reaching our goal and finishing off a perfect 12-0 regular season.
Greg, earlier we were talking to Mark, and he said that he'd like to take some snaps and throw the ball in the Wildcat. Have you ever seen him throw the ball?
I have.
How is it? Would you let him throw the ball?
As long as he's not throwing to me, I mean, that's okay. I'm not a very good receiver by any means. So no, Mark does fine. He's obviously strength is running the ball, but who knows? We might have a wrinkle in there as far as him throwing it. It's really not bad. We give him a hard time, but it's really not bad. Everyone thinks they can throw it, but not everybody can.
Greg, over there, you were talking about, I guess, growing up, Texas OU rivalry was kind of big. Did you go to that game, in Dallas, and then just talk about kind of how you did over there, the difference between the rivalries?
Right. Well, I did actually. I actually never missed that game when I was living in Dallas. So I think I made it to 8 straight or 7 straight, and then obviously I came to school here and haven't been back since. But it has been, it's extremely different as far as the fact that the rivalry is concerned, just because although the fan bases out there are extremely avid and wild, they don't have the in-state. It's different when there's 2 teams in the state, and you battle for state supremacy year in, year out. That rivalry is obviously intense, and it's big to the Big 12 region. But as far as this rivalry is concerned, just the passion and the tradition and things like that, I don't think it can match up. As far as the success that both teams have had in recent years, and just the closest of each game. I mean, there's really every game we play against Auburn has been kind of a toss-up with the exception of last year. So it's a special rivalry. It means a lot to us as players, and it means a lot to our fans. So we try to enjoy it, and obviously not get too far ahead of ourselves. But it really is. It means a lot to beat these guys.
On a visit, was that your first introduction to the game, or when you got here, when did you first get introduced to this rivalry?
Oh, well, my grandfather attended Auburn, so I've always had a little bit of a feel for the rivalry, but you don't understand it until you're here. On a 365-day basis when you're in Tuscaloosa, it's the game on people's mind. It's it's the game that defines each season. It's the game that matters most, and it's a game that each team definitely needs to win at the end of each season. So it's a passionate game. It's a game that obviously runs deep throughout the state, and it's a game that is enjoyable for us as players to both prepare and participate in. So
a lot of quarterback success or failure?
I think it does. I think big games define quarterbacks. You look at the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Tom Brady, the best quarterback in my book to ever play the game, and the way he plays in big games is tough to match. And you look at Troy Aikman and guys like that, and the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, and the guys that have done so well at both the college level and the professional level. It's mostly because of their winning percentage and their ability to perform when the stakes are high. And I think the fact that big games do define quarterbacks, and I think that if you're able to produce in those big games, that allows you to be that much more successful as both a leader and as a player and as a playmaker.
I think those guys on the mental aspect don't let the big game hoopla get to them. I mean, is it something that you can divorce yourself from since you're not from here?
Well, of course. I mean, you just approach it like any other game. I'm approaching this game no different than I did last week against UT Chattanooga. But you understand, you just have a certain sense of butterflies. You have a certain sense of excitement and anticipation and anxiety. more so than just any other game, just because it means that much more to you, and the fact that the bloodlines in the state follow this game so avidly. So it's a very fun game to play in. I played in it last year, obviously, and it was a blast. It was as memorable a game as I'll ever be a part of, and it was as fun of an opportunity as I've ever had to throw the ball in a game. So it's really an enjoyable time, and it's a game that we're going to have to prepare hard for because they are a very talented and well-coached bunch. So we're going to have to come out and play our A game on Friday.
Greg, when Ben makes the comment that he made, and I understand Mark not wanting to get into all that, but it's got to be a lot of motivation for the offensive linemen because they take a lot of pride in making their back the best back in the state.
Well, of course, I think we all take a lot of pride in that. I mean, I might not be blocking everybody, but I'm making checks. I'm doing things to try to help Mark and Trent out and Roy, and so we all take pride in our backs having success. And I think that's kind of what makes us such a special offense, and the fact that we take so much pride in whether we're making an impact on the play or not. We want to do it to our fullest extent and enjoy it as much as we possibly can. So. I think that Ben is a great running back. I do. I think he's done a very good job. We've already obviously watched a ton of film on him, so he is very talented, and he's a great player. But when it comes down to comparing the best back in the state, my vote goes to Mark Ingram. That's because he wears crimson and white, and he's my teammate, and I love him. So, it's if people want to judge and determine their vote on other things, that's fine. But I know what my vote goes on, and my vote's for 22.
More for Mark?
Greg, do you think this team's kind of peaking at the right time? You always want to, it's kind of you're in a tournament almost, in a sense. You can't lose now. Do you feel like you're peaking, the team, the offense, defense?
Well, I think we are peaking. I think we've made a lot of strides and improvements. I actually heard a pretty interesting quote today on SportsCenter from Tom Brady. He said the season starts after Thanksgiving, which is kind of interesting because that's something you don't really think of. That's something, because every game matters so much, but you look at what we did before Thanksgiving last year. Yeah, we looked great. We did fantastic. We won the SEC West before Thanksgiving, but we didn't get any trophies at the end of the day. So I think we're hitting our stride at a good time. I think we're continually trying to make improvements, and the fact is, success and championships are determined, after Thanksgiving, but. One time that we have obviously our biggest opponent on Friday, and that's after Thanksgiving. So it's time to strap it up and get ready to go because it's going to be an enjoyable game, and obviously we got some great opponents left. But this is as fun and as big a game as we'll play in this year against the Auburn Tigers, and we're going to have to definitely be ready to go because they will pose a very difficult task if we don't come ready to play.